Did the Dallas Cowboys just make a shocking decision to move on from 6 players at once, or is this the beginning of a much bigger transformation? Fans across the National Football League are stunned as multiple names are quietly disappearing from the roster, raising serious questions about what's really happening inside Dallas. Some believe this is a risky shakeup that could hurt team chemistry, while others see it as a bold step toward building a true contender. So, who are these 6 players saying goodbye, and why now? The truth behind these moves might completely change how you see the Cowboys' future. Something big is happening in Dallas right now, and if you're a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, you might want to sit down for this because today's update is absolutely shocking. We're talking about 6 names, yes, 6, who could be on their way out, and some of these will leave you stunned. This is not just roster trimming. This feels like a complete shift in direction, and it could change everything we thought we knew about this team heading into the next season. Let's start with the first name that has fans talking everywhere, and that is Tony Pollard. Now, this one hurts. Pollard has been one of the most explosive weapons on this offense, a player who can break a game open in seconds. But here's the reality. The Cowboys have been hesitant about committing long-term money to running backs, and with younger, cheaper options emerging, there's a real belief that Pollard's time in Dallas could be coming to an end. Imagine losing that speed, that versatility, that home run ability. It would leave a massive hole in the offense, and fans are already divided on whether this is a smart move or a huge mistake. Now, let's move to a name that has been a cornerstone on the defensive side, and that is Leighton Vander Esch. Injuries have unfortunately been a big part of his story, and while he's shown flashes of elite play, the Cowboys might be looking for more consistency moving forward. This is one of those tough business decisions in the NFL. When healthy, he's a leader, a playmaker, and a key voice in that locker room. But the question the front office is asking right now is simple. Can they rely on him for a full season? If the answer is no, then this goodbye might be inevitable. And now things start getting even more intense because the next name could truly. Once seen as a rising star, Gallup hasn't quite returned to his peak form after injury. And in a league where production is everything, that matters. The Cowboys have invested heavily at wide receiver, and with younger talent pushing for more snaps, Gallup could become the odd man out. It's not about talent, it's about timing, fit, and financial flexibility. Still, letting him go would mark the end of an era for a player who made some huge plays in big moments. Now here's where it gets even more dramatic. Another name floating around in these reports is Tyron Smith. Yes, that Tyron Smith. A future Hall of Fame caliber player, a leader, and one of the most respected offensive linemen in the entire league. But age and injuries have started to catch up, and the Cowboys might be preparing for life after him. This is the kind of move that signals a transition, not just a roster change. Moving on from Smith would be emotional for fans and players alike, but it might also be necessary if Dallas wants to build a younger, more durable offensive line. And we're not done yet. The 5th name on this list is Dorrance Armstrong. He's been a solid contributor, especially as a rotational pass rusher, but the Cowboys are stacked on the defensive line, and they're always looking to get younger and faster. Armstrong could find himself squeezed out simply because of depth and financial priorities. This is one of those under-the-radar moves that might not make headlines at first, but could have a real impact on the team's pass rush rotation. Now, brace yourself, because the final name might be the most surprising of all. There are whispers, and they are getting louder, about Brandon Cooks potentially being moved. That's right. A veteran presence, a deep threat, and a player who brought experience to the offense. But again, this comes down to cap space, future planning, and giving younger players a bigger role. If the Cowboys decide to move on from Cooks, it would signal a clear commitment to reshaping the offense around a new core. So, what does all of this mean for the Cowboys moving forward? It means change is coming, and not just small changes. This could be one of the most significant roster shakeups we've seen from Dallas in years. The front office is clearly evaluating every position, every contract, and every long-term decision. They are not afraid to make bold moves. even if it means saying goodbye to familiar faces. And let's talk about the bigger picture here. This isn't just about who's leaving, it's about what comes next. The Cowboys are trying to build a team that can finally break through and compete at the highest level. That means tough decisions, emotional goodbyes, and taking calculated risks. They know the pressure is on, especially with a quarterback like Dak Prescott leading the team. The window to win is not infinite, and every move they make now has to push them closer to that ultimate goal. Fans are already reacting, and the reactions are all over the place. Some believe this is exactly what the team needs: a fresh start, new energy, and a focus on younger talent. Others feel like the Cowboys are risking too much, letting go of proven players who still have something left to give. And honestly, both sides have valid points. That's what makes this situation so fascinating and so intense. One thing is certain: the Cowboys are not standing still. They are making moves, asking hard questions, and preparing for a future that could look very different from the present. Whether these decisions pay off or backfire will depend on how well they replace these players and how quickly the new pieces come together. So keep your eyes locked in, because this story is far from over. More updates are coming, more decisions are on the horizon, and the Cowboys could be heading into one of the most dramatic off-seasons in franchise history. If even half of these moves happen, we are going to see a completely different team take the field next season. And if you thought the Cowboys news cycle couldn't get any crazier, just wait, because this might only be the beginning.